What's it painted?
In this video, I just want to take a look at custom miniatures by ANVL. This is really similar to Hero Forge, which probably a lot more of you are aware of. Now, I will mention at the beginning of this video, it's a sort of sponsored video. They have allowed me to grab 2 miniatures from them for free, so just bear that in mind as we go through. But if you're familiar with the channel, you've seen that Austin has paid for Hero Forge miniatures in the past and reviewed them out of our own back. So it's something we're interested in. Now, unlike Austin, I don't actually play RPGs. I don't have that much time for making custom miniatures and the artwork required for the board game. So it's going to be fairly interesting for myself, like how I find these things. So you go to ANVL's website, and you can start designing. Very similar to Hero Forge. They've got a huge range of things, different classes, races. Here you go. It's all telling you here. You've got cats, you've got humans, dwarfs, orcs, cyclopses, elves, halflings. What? Something? Wolves, dragons, and frogs, males and females, and you can mix and match anything you want. It's completely customizable. You can change all their heads, add eyebrows, ears, facial hair, horns, personality. You can make him happier or more confident. Look at that, he's like winking now, a bit sad or angry. Let's make him sad and angry, that sort of thing. So you're controlling each individual part of his face. You can rotate the model, do all that sort of exciting stuff. You can change the scales of things somewhere. I've seen that around. You can change what they're wearing. You can change their body types, how tall they are, their dimensions, how tall, fat, thin, muscular, etc. Add them weapons, add them classes, add them items, the bases. You can change the base to some degree. They've got quite a few choices. As I mentioned, very similar to Hero Forge. Something like in the trillions of combinations. One thing I've just noticed was this: if you need some inspiration, they've got to generate a random character, and so you can just click that to see some of the choices you get. You also get to control their stance, and that's like individually controlled. At one point I was rotating his wrist around and making sure he was holding the weapon I wanted him to, that sort of thing. You can add mounts. You can put them on unicorns, on bears, on horses. This is some sort of frog walking stick wizardy sort of thing on a nice looking base. I'm just clicking random so you can, I'm sure you've got the idea already. Then you've got 2 sizes to choose from. It's the 1 size and the 2 size. So somewhere there it is. There's the button, and it just makes it much bigger than the die. Not quite sure which you want for which games, that sort of thing. And you can see the price difference. So the prices start at $9.97. I don't know if sort of Hero Forge goes that low, but that was very appealing to me. I thought $10 for a custom miniature, 3D printed, by the way, I should mention, and that's a nice low price point. I think somewhere, where can we choose material? Here we go, we choose the material, and you can see the prices. And I know Hero Forge charged $10 for the download, so you can print themselves. So you can sort of see the price comparison there. These guys are a little bit cheaper. You've got plastic. For some reason, premium plastic doesn't list the price. I don't know why, but that's $25. I'm not quite sure why it's hidden information. But again, I think it's about $5 cheaper than what Austin experienced. And then you can go all the way up to gold if you've got some serious amounts of money. I'd love, if anybody's ever bought one of these gold miniatures, please send me a picture. I would love to see. And also, you guys are crazy. But premium plastic seems like a nice medium, and plastic, I'd love to see what this looks like. Unfortunately, when I printed my 2 test ones, I had selected plastic and premium plastic, one of each. I wanted to see the difference, and somehow in my rush I accidentally just ordered 2 premium plastics. I don't know what went wrong, and it was worse than that. One of the miniatures was for Sophie. She spent a good hour designing this miniature, and that's the one I put in plastic. She won't mind. And yeah, that's the one I forgot to buy, so I had a very upset 4-year-old when we unboxed it later on. What else is there to say? I don't think there's much more on this. It's a really cool app. There's a trillion combinations, and I actually had quite a lot of fun making a miniature, even though I didn't fully know what it would be for. I just tried to make something interesting that I thought might be quite difficult to print. We can have a quick glance at the miniature that I just designed. As I mentioned, no idea what this is for. Some sort of cat pirate-y creature with 2 flaming axes. So this is where I was telling you about the stance I could completely control, and I managed to put it in this stance, which I think Looks awesome riding on the back of this bear mount. So you can see the two axes about to swing into battle, and you can change each arm individually. I just think I like them symmetrical. And then we'll show Sophie's while we're here, because bless her, she spent a long time making this, only for me to accidentally not put it in the basket at the end. So she's designed this sort of ranger on a unicorn, obviously. So we'll wait and see for these to arrive in the post, and we'll have a look at the miniatures themselves. And here we are. The parcel has arrived. It didn't actually take very long. I think it was about a week. And guess who's here with me?
Sophie.
Who?
Sophie.
That's right. Sophie is here. Now, we both did one, so we're both excited to see what it is. It came from Shapeways, actually. I think that's in Germany or Holland. I've seen that name a few times to do with 3D printing, so that's where it comes from if you're in Europe. Hang on, Soph, we need a knife. So I'll do this bit very carefully. We're in. Pop that well out of the way. Oh, let's move that away in case it's got my address on it. What is it?
What?
Right, I had done an absolutely sweet unboxing. Didn't come in much, it was just a box and then these two baggies, but a super sweet video with myself and Sophie unboxing these. But, you know, guys, I've got to cut it because nobody wants to listen to a 4-year-old get progressively more and more upset as she realizes her unicorn is not here. Terrible work, Daddy. So this is the miniature that I showed you. So this is what I built up in the video and let you have a look at. So we'll start with this just so you can see what sort of quality you're working with. And I have to say it is pretty nice quality. It's 3D printed and I was quite skeptical. I think I'm used to that sort of home style 3D printing that's got all the resolution lines and just looks a bit tacky, and it's a little bit brittle as well. Now this is really hard in places. I'm not quite sure how they do this. Somebody probably knows behind, but like this axe, for instance, is super flexible. That's not going to snap off. Sophie actually bent it fully back in her anger, and yeah, it's as good as new. And I think this looks great, guys. This is really nice. It's got a little number on the base, and I'm wondering if you can put that in to get this exact miniature back, so people could, you know, design something and get to it from here. I meant to look on the site. That'd be really cool and interesting if it is. It's incredibly lightweight, this one, and as I mentioned, I fortunately got them both in premium plastic. So this is the sort of, how much was this? I think this was like $60 by the end of it, something like that. It is premium plastic. Had it been in normal plastic, it was $35, but there's a lot to this miniature. This one, however, I think is $25 in this premium plastic, and it would have been $10 in normal plastic. So I really am regretting not picking up that plastic like I meant to, so we could really see the difference. But guys, the quality is there. It's got detail, but it's not insane detail, and I think that's going to be better when this gets painted up. You can really see the veins in its wings, which I think fantastic. Look, oh sorry, this was a dragon mage. So the other thing the site has is like preset. So I just picked dragon race, and then I put it in like a sorcerer stance and added 2 fireballs to its arms, and here we go, and that's what you got. That took me minutes to design. I think it's great if you wanted a dragon sorceress. So there we go, and I'm liking it. The miniature, the detail on the skin, it looks fantastic. It's just possibly going to be a little bit tricky to paint. It's going to be really interesting how these paint up as well. The printer has got this sort of, you can sort of see it's a bit gritty, a bit bitty. I think the paint will stick to it really well, but interesting how the finish looks on that. And then the scale, just bear with me 1 second. I just had to go and grab some of the miniatures. I wondered how it looked in comparison to these, because they feel quite small in my hands. So this is from Zombicide. You can see, yeah, it's a little bit smaller. And this was, I didn't faff with the size, if I recall correctly. This is just the sort of default print size. And I think Zombicide miniatures are quite small to begin with. So that's the sort of scale you're getting by default. Now you can up the size and make them taller and bigger and chunkier, and that might fit better. And maybe you need to buy the 2 size, but if she was twice as big, she'd be too big. Maybe I made it small, but I don't think so. I definitely didn't make them both small. And then this one, these look like the same scale to me. Just this one's on a bear. So again, it just works out. It's quite small. I don't know if in Dungeons and Dragons maybe you play at a smaller scale, but I think board games are quite small to begin with. If we compare that to something from Games Workshop, again, it's just that little bit smaller. Like the bear's not much bigger than this skeleton dude, and then these, again, teeny tiny in comparison, which is completely fine if you want small miniatures. Just if I'd have printed them at the default sizes. I think I'd be quite disappointed if I was trying to make the scale fit in with the board games that I play. So it's just something to bear in mind, that the sizing might be a little bit off, but maybe I did something wrong. You guys have a play on the site and let me know if you can get them the right size. I think the only other thing to do is mention I really enjoyed the website. It was fun. Sophie enjoyed just making characters. She'd have absolutely loved it as a 4-year-old, getting what she'd created printed and delivered to her. So bad work myself. And then the quality wise, I like the quality. I think this is really good. The premium plastic. I'd have loved to see the normal plastic, and I'm very, very interested in how these paint up. So I'll go and do one of those momentarily so we can have a look at the end of this video. Yeah, scale, and the scale's the only thing off is off for me. I think the price is affordable. I think this is pretty expensive for a mount, but if you guys want a dude on a mount, like in some games you probably do, then you pay what you have to get it. It's completely customizable on random mounts. Like, where else could you get a cat with one eye with 2 fire axes riding a bear? Like, it's pretty unique, isn't it? Anyway, I'll go and paint one and we'll have a look at the end. Well, guys, I have painted up this little pussycat bear riding flaming axe dude. I think that's actually going to be this RPG name that I use. And I have to say it's 3D printed, and I was actually incredibly skeptical of that when the box arrived. I thought, oh, here we go. Loads of sort of those lines, the resolution lines that you get in 3D printing. I have to say, it painted up fantastically well. It wasn't particularly difficult to paint, and I don't think you can tell it's 3D printed so easily anymore, / at all. Maybe not at all. It's only because I can sort of, when I talk about it, feel the texture in my head as I'm mentioning it. Well, you guys judge for yourself. Have a look at that. See if you think it looks overly 3D printed or not. I'm very, very happy with that. And the fact that you can fully customize these miniatures, you know, they're really onto something like with that. And as the prices come down over time, we're going to look for some fantastic abilities in this 3D space of getting your own custom miniatures. And I think Anvil have really grabbed the horse by its head. I think that's the saying. It is now. Anyway, and they're just making it available slightly cheaper than Hero Forge. And I don't have a Hero Forge model in front of me to compare exactly the quality, but the concept is very similar, isn't it? Design your own completely unique miniature and have it a little bit cheaper. And that's always going to be a win. You know, everyone's always going to be interested in price as long as the quality is comparable. But I'm happy with these results, and I'm happy with how precise I could pick everything. The app was great. Sophie really enjoyed it. So if you've got young children, they can just enjoy it. Don't forget to accidentally not print their one, because you will still be hearing about it 9 months later. Anyway, guys, hopefully that was interesting to you, and nice one, Anvil. I'm impressed with your products. Hopefully you'll continue to get better. I know they're adding more customization as time goes by. It's different from when I first started making this video. Thank you all ever so much for watching it. I'll see you again next week.